like and subscribe. What is the stupidest thing you have ever heard out of someone's mouth? A woman I know adopted a baby from an Eastern European country. Someone who worked in our satira's education system said, but when she grows up, how will you understand what she is saying? London is the Paris of New York, said my friend after a few drinks. We never let him forget it. I am partially deaf. I have been partially deaf since I was 3 years old, and I have been slowly but surely getting more deaf. I had a manager tell me I needed to work harder to get over my hearing loss. There was genuinely no concept of hearing loss being permanent in some cases, and no amount of working harder would get rid of it. Shoulder had skipped a day at the gym. I worked at a hippie crystal store in the mall. These girls come up and are looking at our amethyst cathedrals, big pretty chunks of amethyst. One reached out to touch it, and her friend immediately held her back and pulled her away, yelling, "Don't touch that. It is amethyst. Being around it gives you asthma." She was genuinely upset. Oh, vertical bar. I stopped dead in my tracks when I heard that one. I was in a Warby Parker one day and there was a married couple being waited on ahead of me. I'd guess they were both maybe 50. The sales guy was showing them a pair of transition lenses and the man just could not understand them. The sales guy tried to explain them. His wife tried to explain them. He just kept replying, "But I don't understand how they give you night vision." They brought him outside to show him how their lenses darken in sunlight, so you don't need a separate pair of sunglasses, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I get it now. But how does the night vision work?" After 20 minutes or so they gave up trying to explain to him that the glasses do not give you night vision. Let the man just have his night vision. GLASSESD. How do left-handed people drive? My sister. As she then proceeded to try and drive left-footed. Leaving the movie Titanic in 1997, I passed a person and overheard them say that movie was so unrealistic, no ship like that would sink. Legit had not heard of the sinking of the Titanic and thought the events in the movie were fiction. You are not Asian, you are Chinese. I thought snow was just the dust that blows off mountains and rain was when the snow melted. 23-year-old in one of my uni classes. What's chicken made out of? My dumbus of an older brother. A roommate had to walk to work 2 kilometers in the sun. He asks me how he would stop his head getting burnt. Oh, vertical bar, and asked me for advice on how to put sunscreen in his hair. I suggested a hat. He was floored, mouth dropped open, and thought it was a great solution. He told me I was so clever. Biadarari haha. Gold isn't a metal, because it isn't magnetic. While working on an aluminum engine, that he fully accepted as metal. I was working midnights back in the 80s. It was almost dawn and a few of us were hanging out in the parking lot. Venus was blazing away in the pre-dawn sky. I pointed it out to my co-workers, and how it was easy to find in the sky. Its positioning in relation to the sun, when I got interrupted by one of the guys standing there. He was pretty adamant that the sun revolved around the earth. By 80s, do you mean the 1680s? Because then it might be reasonable. Tampons have asbestos in them to make you bleed more, so you need to buy more of them. From a girl at a bar, roughly 2003/2004. I just laughed and said, "Where would you hear that? On the internet?" As this was the era of chain MLs and non-facts floating around online. Not surprisingly, yes, she did read it online. Overhearing a conversation on a cruise deck between 2 people. Look at how many stars there are out there. Yeah, they are actually pretty big too. If one crashed all the way in the water over there, it bet it would splash us over here. Toyo vertical bar are not wrong. I think they'll be splashed with hot plasma and not water, though. You not. I heard that the earth is hollow. And we live on the inside. When we look at the sky, we are looking into the middle of the earth, where are 3 spheres. Black body sphere is the biggest, and it has dots on it. That's night. Sun and moon are smaller spheres. At night, sun is behind black sphere, so it is dark. Also you can't see other parts of the earth just by looking up, because light does not travel in a straight line. It travels in a spiral. Edit. I didn't expect for this to blow this much. Thank you all. As a reward I was able to find some source. It's in Czech, but images should answer some of your questions. https://alaska.org/tuterzimnokadenrockni Adobe/. Edit. To this spiral idea really ignited discussion, so I should clarify. After reading source above, it's not spiral, it's parabolic trajectory. I remembered it wrong. It was a video with two people arguing, and one of them roughly says, with full confidence dog sperm can get me pregnant. Kansas is not a real starter. Vertical bar. Vertical bar. It was in The Wizard of Oz in sophomore year of high school. I heard so vertical bar. Vertical bar. It's not the stupidest, but it's the most recent ones to mind. I'm a vet and was giving discharge instructions a dog after a neuter. Owner after dog neuter, so where are his stitches? Meow between his legs. In his front legs or back legs? Me. His back legs. Where do you keep your testicles, sir? My very diabetic friend had dangerously high blood sugar levels, and was in the emergency room. When she was starting to feel better and expressed that she was hungry, the nurse brought her a white bread ham sandwich, banana, and juice box. When my friend said I can't eat this, it's literally all sugar, the nurse looked her dead in the face and replied, I don't know what you people can eat. Do you want an extra juice box? I wouldn't have believed it if I wasn't in the same room. Eater. To answer some common questions. The term you people was in reference to people with diabetes when the nurse said it. I don't think she was an orderly. I saw her placing force on other patients, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the pokey finder vein part is usually left up to the medical professionals. I understand the emergency room doesn't have a magical stock of food for every diet type, but I'm surprised she didn't just tell us that instead of handing a type 1 diabetic a box full of sugar, and then offering extra sugar when she was told the patient couldn't eat that. The nurse didn't go near my friend's chart at any point. I was by her side the whole time she was there, although we did clearly tell her that my friend was diabetic. If my friend was someone elderly, or without full understanding, she could have just chowed down and made herself much sicker. That's the problem. Nursing aside, I don't think I'm wrong to assume that most adults, medical professionals or not, understand that diabetes means don't eat sugar. Even if she was an orderly, this is not a hard or foreign concept. It's a common disease that the general public is aware of. My friend had dangerously high blood sugar because her automatic insulin pump was malfunctioning, and she didn't notice for hours. Through most of this time she was asleep. When someone came by her house in the morning, they realized something was wrong and took her to the hospital. She now has a new pump system and is doing great. This happened in Canada. For what it's worth, this is the same hospital that misplaced my father's body some years earlier when he died in an ambulance en route to them. But that's a story for another day. Either way, I wouldn't call them the most competent, just the closest to us. I think being cryogenically frozen would be cool, because you could see the future. I'd have to bring a space heater or a blanket or something though. I don't like being cold. Star basketball player in my high school health class. My Walgreens pharmacist just this morning that said he would sell my insulin, but wouldn't sell my syringes. WTF am I supposed to do with a vial of insulin with no way to inject it? Is the President of the United States also the President of Canada? Diet Coke turns French fries into instant sugar. You won't see any planes because it's raining. Planes don't fly when it's raining. One of my old friend asking in a serious voice traveling down to the beach, how's late at night him looking out the window. So who changes the batteries on the side reflector post when they run out the hour? If you're a homeowner, so vertical bar, just buy a house. If you're dead, just be alive. I once had to explain to a call center colleague that blood oranges are not like blood diamonds. Ekpop Stan once told me, bruh, stop stealing Korean culture and acting Korean you. I'm racist. I'm Korean. I asked my student why she missed 5 weeks of class, and she said, while looking me dead in the eye, that she had a nosebleed. Edit, this was a college student, and I thought she dropped the class. She showed up to my office 24 hours before the final asking for extra credit, but not having any of the work done. She did not make any prior attempt to contact me or the school about accommodations. I saw her regularly around the building, and she was attending her other classes. To everyone claiming they someone know the whole situation and this is a disability issue, it may or may not have been. I'm not a doctor, and all she told me was she had a nosebleed. The lack of attendance or reason why wasn't the issue. The issue is the impossibility of a student making up 5 weeks worth of lecture/project/homework in